Hi everyone, happy Sunday. It is Zuli, your friendly neighborhood writer. I hope everyone's had a great week so far. I have. The weather has been crappy, but I've been persevering regardless. So today I'm going to talk about the basics in Medium. So for those of you who don't know, every week I release a video in which I go over some of the most frequently asked questions I get as an author on Medium. Things like, is follow-unfollow a good strategy for growth? Is it possible to make money by writing fiction on Medium? Questions like that. Anyone can submit them, just sign up to my mailing list and I'll give you the chance to ask me anything, and I love replying, so please feel free to hit that link in the video description. A lot of the questions I've been getting lately have been around the basics of Medium, so how to format a title, how to add tags, how to submit to publications, what's the difference between that and self-publishing, and I wanted to create a video which would go over all of these basic topics and in a really clear and straightforward way that would let everyone write stories that are putting their best foot forward, so to speak, and have the best chance of finding success on Medium. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, let's write a story. The first thing that you're going to be interested in doing is obviously writing a story. So if you go to your profile page and click New Story, that's going to open up a brand new page for you to write your words. Medium makes it super obvious where they want the title because it's called title. So you can just write anything you want. Your title goes in here. It's important to note, Medium prefers title case for their titles, so that means that all the big words have an uppercase letter at the start, all the little ones like in just don't have an uppercase at all. Then you add a subtitle. How can you add a subtitle? You may be wondering. Very easily. You highlight it and you press the little T. Now, add an image. Hit the little plus button, hit the search button, and this is going to let you search the entirety of Unsplash. They have so many pictures to choose from. So type anything you want, anything specific or broad like love, or maybe you want like woman hiking boots, or whatever you want. Click something you like. I like this one. Medium gives the option of changing the size of the image. So this one is just inline. This is going to be the width of your article. You can make it a little wider. This is the one I prefer because it's wide enough to indicate that it's a feature image. It's not just like a random illustration, but it's not so big that you have to scroll for miles before you get to the text. That's personal preference. It's 100% up to you. So now let's start writing your story. Medium's editor has some really cool tricks that I really think everybody should be using. First of all, I call it the storybook start. It probably has a fancy name, but I don't know what it is. Gives the very first letter of your paragraph a really big, broad start, so it feels like you're opening like an old-timey storybook. I really like that style. You can do big titles. Again, highlighting it and selecting the big T. This is going to look slightly different than the actual story title, and it's going to be bigger than your subtitles, which you can also put into the story by using the little t. You can do quotes, so I call these sidebar quotes. Whenever I say something funny or snarky or like a little note that relates to the main story, I use the first quote here, a little sidebar quote. You can also use a pull-out quote. I use these when I'm using actual quotes from experts, from people who have something to say related to my article. So I highlight that, press that once, press it again, and so this will be from expert like you. And then I can highlight that and I can hyperlink that to whoever said, my quote. What's a little less obvious is that you can do some other pretty nifty things. So for example, you might want to put in a break and start a new section of your story. Sorry about that, that's my cat. Medium puts in automatically numbered lists. So press 1, press full stop, and start typing. Now when you hit enter, it'll automatically start your second option, second list. And your third, and so on. You can also use bullets. So if you do an asterisk and then press space, Medium will automatically bullet and then if you hit enter, you'll get a second bullet. And finally, you can do really typical stuff like bold or italicized or both. Just a bit of fun, and I really recommend using all of the features, style items that you can. Make your story stand out, make it easy to read, make your tone really clear by using all of these different options. Keep in mind, at any point you can add more images. So you can press this will search your own internal images on your computer. You can use the magnifying glass to search through Unsplash for images like writing. Like that, which is what I'm doing right now. I love writing. You'll notice Unsplash automatically puts accreditation. That's important. If you pull in an image from anywhere else, you have to remember to add the accreditation, otherwise Medium just doesn't like it very much. So you've written your story, you're ready to publish. Let's go. Medium automatically adds in some tags that it thinks are going to be applicable to your story. You can add up to 5, and I always recommend using all 5 tags. It's just going to give your story the best chance at being read by the right people who are interested in your topics. So for example, this post is about writing. You might be wondering, what's that number there, the 198,000? Is that followers? Sorry, that's a car now outside my house. Is that followers? No, it's actually the number of stories which have been written in that tag. What that means is that you have a pretty good idea of how popular any given tag is. I always recommend choosing a mix of broad, like writing, and really niche, like writing tips, to give you the best chance of hitting those popular topics, but also standing out in the less popular topics. So this is how you self-publish a story. You just click publish now, and that'll appear on your blog immediately. You can also choose to add this to a publication. Now, to add a story to a publication for the first time, so I recommend you just go to Google and say, how do I submit to The Startup, or P.S. I Love You, or Jane Austen's Wastebasket. Most of these publications will have a page that they've written about how to submit. Once you've submitted your first story and once they've accepted it, you can add a story anytime you want. So you go to these little 3 dots here, click Add to Publication, and here you'll see a list of all of the publications that have accepted you as a writer. So for example, I'm gonna pick The Startup. Select and continue. So now you are ready to submit. Now, they don't have to publish this immediately. They don't have to publish it at all. And I will only know that they've accepted it when I get a little email saying The Startup has accepted your submission, and then I'll get another one when they've published it. And this can happen anywhere from immediately to like up to a week after. So if you're dead set on having something published by a publication, I recommend you just be patient and hold out hope. Those are the basics of writing a story on Medium. Title case, other formatting options, a lot of picture searching, and remember, have fun, make sure that your tone is coming through the story, and these tips will definitely let your story make the most and be optimized for spread and recognition on Medium. Alright. Great, so thank you so much for watching. That should really give you the basics of how to get started writing on Medium. A lot of the formatting seems a little tricky to get started with, but as long as you keep writing, it'll soon become second nature like it did for me and everyone else who writes on Medium, because I believe they've done a really good job of making an editor that's really intuitive, really nice to look at, and lets you focus on what matters, which is actually writing. So again, if you've got any questions that you'd like to submit, please feel free to sign up to my newsletter and send them my way. I love getting them, and I love making these videos answering them, so yeah, looking forward to getting those. Talk to you guys next Sunday. Bye.